it's Danny here. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you're well. I'm assuming that you are here to check out these pickups from Bare Knuckle Pickups, my favourite pickups of all time. I absolutely adore these, everything they do. So Tim Mills from Bare Knuckle reached out and asked if I was willing and up for checking out Adam Nolly Getgood's new signature humbucker set. And of course, I jumped at the chance, being a massive fan of everything that Tim does and everything that Nolly does, actually. I'm a huge fan of Nolly. His guitar playing is unreal, brilliant bass player, amazing producer. And I think, above all that, he's such a great producer. He's got a great ear for tone. And I think probably that's why he's ended up being like almost a consultant when designing pickups with other artists. So I was very keen to check these out, especially when I saw the specs. So these are called the PolyPafs, and they are heavily based on the infamous PAF design. So they're lower output. In fact, the bridge is measuring at 8.3, and the neck pickup is measuring at 7.6, but they're at Alnico V magnet. And if we look at the EQ diagram just here somewhere, the bass is rolled off, which based on the kind of pickups that I really, really enjoy playing through, the bass is rolled off, the mids are kind of humped, and then some nice kind of sweet treble on the top end. So at first glance, they look great, and based on the demos that Nolly's done already, they already sound great. So I know I'm going to love these. So I love the Mule, and it looks like that these pickups were that was like the baseline that these were designed upon, with some enhancements. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to install these in my absolute treasure of a guitar, the Seth Backus Nautilus. So both Seth Backus and Tim Mills and his team from Bare Knuckle are all based in the UK, in Cornwall. Cornwall's amazing. I'd love to live down that way. What I've got in here is a Stormy Monday in the neck, which is a very beautiful sounding neck pickup. And the Rebel Yell, which is a little bit higher output than I'd normally go for, but it's still a killer sounding pickup. I'm very keen to hear what these are going to sound like. It's got a 5-way switch. Unfortunately, this switch seems to be a little bit on the blink. So the guys at Bare Knuckle have been very kind and sent me a replacement 5-way switch as well. So these are 4-way conductor, which you get a spare packet of strings in there which is nice. So I've got a replacement switch to install, and we've got, don't know if you can see the brushed nickel on here, but they're brushed nickel finish. And if we look at the backs, I thought this was really cool. Oh, just lost the screw. Right, here we go. Look at that. Awesome. PolyPaf. So I can't wait to put these in, and I know for a fact they're going to sound absolutely killer. What I've done some clips of this guitar, how it sounds now currently with the pickups it's got in it, and then I'm going to film the installation of the new pickups so you can see them go in, and I'm going to record loads of tones with the new pickups, do like a bit of a mini shootout really. It's going to be a long video, but I promise there's going to be lots of great tones in there. So thanks to everyone at Bare Knuckle, and I hope you enjoy the video. It's not the last you'll hear me talking, but I'll keep the playing prominent throughout this video. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I really wanted to include this section in the video. I don't normally do this. I normally kind of talk about whatever gear I'm demoing and then just play the tones and things like that. But I thought I'd include this because I wanted to just describe what this guitar kind of feels like now that these pickups are installed. I think it's the kind of thing that I've been chasing for quite some time. So the two things for me that with humbuckers, usually with the more gain that you add, even on a clean sound, once you get into that neck position, I normally found that gets a little bit kind of muddy in a mix. It's not necessarily muddy when it's isolated, but when it's in a mix, there's some sort of frequencies there that just, you always end up having to like cut them out. But I mean, you can't do that when you're playing live, so it's not so bad when you're in the studio. But when you're playing live, what I found is when I flip to a clean sound, so that this amp it's just a single channel killer sounding amp from Orange. I mean, the amount of clarity in these pickups is crazy now. So that's what it sounds like on the neck pickup. They're just really reactive to the way that you play and how hard you want to dig in. And then crank the volume up a little bit. Really cool. And if you split coil, I mean, you're going to get a little bit of hum. That's just to be expected, splitting. This has kind of a little bit of an acoustic kind of electroacoustic kind of thing going off. Really lovely. So if you've got a single channel amp and a guitar in this configuration, so far these pickups are really kicking ass in my opinion. Now, a sound that I always use, I've always used this since I've had the dual humbucker kind of setup in a guitar. I love the sound of both pickups running at the same time, especially this guitar. Clean that up as well. If we go to the bridge now, the amount of clarity. It's so cool. It's such a cool tone. So this middle position, let's talk about this a little bit. The way I've got this set up now is I've rolled back the tone a bit, rolled back the volume a bit. I've got it in between both humbuckers, so they're both on. There's still, it's obviously warmer sounding, but there's still that kind of clarity, that high mids, a little bit of sparkle there. So if you want that kind of jazzier kind of... Then if you wind everything up, so much clarity. Really reacts to the pick as well. When you split that humbucker, it has got that kind of Telecaster-esque kind of sound to it, you know. So if I wind back the volume a little bit, and I'm in the split coil bridge position. And then we add that volume back in. If that's too bright for you, just roll back the volume. Roll back the tone, sorry. So I find if you've got pickups that are brighter to start with, you've already got that kind of access to some of those really pleasant high frequencies. It's easier to kind of roll them off than add them. It sounds a little bit more organic, and I think that's what I'm finding with these pickups. I'm hearing more of the guitar in a way. That's where it's picking up some of those like kind of acoustic qualities that I can hear when it's unplugged. What I do love is this bridge position. It's got that kind of that really fat Telecaster thing going on. I really love the Mules, and I've got some of those installed in my hollow body. I think the PolyPafs have got more of a PAF-based tone to them because they've got that kind of beefed up Telecaster sound, which, I mean, who doesn't love that tone? And it works so well in the mix. So well done to Tim, to Nolly, and the entire team at Bare Knuckle for coming up with these pickups, because it almost feels like they've been been made for me, which is just, oh, it's awesome. And they're well balanced. We clean it up. Let's move on. For all you high gain fans, I like high gain as well. Don't tend to use it as much these days, but let's just put this into a bit of a drop D. Now, you add gain to a guitar that's tuned down, you know, even as far as drop D, you have to be so careful with the low end and the clarity. And I think they've kind of nailed it with the frequencies on these pickups. Oh, so good. I'm absolutely sold. I hope you enjoy the isolated tones. I hope you like the instrumental version of Forever. So that track is off my album Chase the Sun, so you can hear the vocalised version if you want to. The instrumental version will be up on all streaming sites very soon. I love how the tones turned out on that track. I wish I had these pickups back then when I recorded that album. I tend to sit in a realm where I use the same tone for a lot of my guitar playing. I don't jump between sounds that much these days. I've generally got a clean to light breakup, clean tone, and then more of a kind of a brighter kind of crunch tone. That's what I lean towards these days because of doing more recording. I know that it works better in a mix for me, you know, boosting with like a Sheba drive and a Rufus fuzz. So they're the two kind of boost pedals that I tend to boost my overall sound with. If I've got a guitar that works with all of that gear already without having to change too many settings, it's great. And that's what I'm finding with this. It's just kind of plug it in and the sounds I'm getting are exactly what I'm trying to achieve. When I kind of sit in a realm of using the same sort of tone for most things, sometimes you can become a little bit bored. So you end up switching to a different guitar or anything like that. But I'm not finding that with this. I'm finding that I just want to keep playing this guitar with these pickups in it. It's really enjoyable to play through it. I think it's because it's so dynamic. Go and check them out for yourself. I, hand on heart, recommend these pickups for anyone who's looking for that PAF-style pickup. But it will handle, you know, the higher gain. I'm in the mindset, how much gain do you need? But yeah, they sound fantastic. Well done to Bare Knuckle, well done to Nolly, and thanks for watching. Until next time, see you later.